Hello, good evening, and welcome to another finger licking good episode of the Guns and Yellow Ribbons preview podcast. Can the Arsenal bounce back after a disappointing defeat up at Liverpool? We'll preview all of the other weekend's games. What's the Arsenal team going to be? We've got so many to choose from. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is your Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show.
Trevor, good evening. How are you on this Friday evening?
I'm all right, thank you, Fergus. I've had a good week. Feeling good about tomorrow. Going to be setting off early in the morning for an early kickoff. Absolutely buzzing for the second game of the season at the Emirates. Yeah, couldn't feel better about tomorrow, mate. Looking forward to it. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. A couple of beers and a nice homemade beef goulash tonight. So yeah, I'm nicely settled down and ready for this show. An hour, Trev. An hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
An hour.
Definitely. I mean, I'm suffering from malnutrition at the moment because I've got a stone to go. I've lost 2.5 stone. I know I keep going on about it, but I'm proud of myself. I don't care. I've lost 2.5 stone. I've got a stone to go. I want to get it done. So all I've had today was a bit of brown rice and some tuna, and I'll have a bite to eat when we finish here. So yes, Ferg, an hour it will be, my son. And it's been on this diet since the 22nd of June. The one thing I want to do is fucking smash a bucket of Kentucky. Somehow I'm regretting sending that out to you today in our little WhatsApp. I could smash a bucket of Kentucky, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to smash a bucket of Kentucky. I'm being good. I'm going straight to the ground tomorrow. No beer. Straight home afterwards. No beer. Not far to go now. Anyway, Ferg, listen. If we're going to keep it to an hour, right? We've got to talk about this weekend's fixtures first. Obviously, we'll leave the best game till last, which is the mighty Arsenal against Forest. So, Ferg, let's start, mate. Just you and me tonight, obviously.
Yeah.
Bournemouth v Brighton, Ferg. Bournemouth v Brighton. So there were no games last week, and my old memory don't last for 2 weeks. So you'll have to fill me in on their form, mate. Bournemouth v Brighton.
But Bournemouth started with an unfortunate 4-2 defeat to Liverpool at the first game of the season, which remember on that Friday night fixture, which I thought they'd done themselves really, really well. And they then went on to have 2 1-0 wins against Wolverhampton Wanderers, who aren't great, but also Spurs. So, you know, they scored in the 3rd minute against Spurs and held on really, really resolutely. On the flip side, you've got Brighton. Well, not even flip side. On the other side of this tie, you've got Brighton, who went 1-0 down to Man City after 25 minutes, and then it went on to beat Man City 2-1. I cannot split these sides. I really can't split these sides. I'll give you my score prediction in a minute. What do you think? Let's see what other people say.
Do you know what, Ferg? Yeah, you've confirmed what I had in my head. Bournemouth have had a cracking win, right? Over Tottenham. Went there, scored early, defended resolutely. Brighton went a goal down to Man City and still came back and managed to pull off the win. By the way, isn't James Milner still looking really good for a lad of his age? What a servant he's been to the Premier League, James Milner. Fantastic.
He's a proper player, isn't he? Like a journeyman, but he's always gives his all, doesn't he?
Yeah, and do you know what? He looks like an old-fashioned player. He's got a big, strong build about him, hasn't he? You know, and yeah, I like him, I do. But Ferg, I can't split him. I can make a case for either team winning or either team losing. So I'm going for a draw. I've gone 1-1, Ferg. I've gone 1-1.
I've done the same, mate. Let's see if anybody's put their ones in the chat. Arnie's gone 1-1 as well. Trevor's gone 2-1. And Danny, old school, Gooner has gone I'm going Brighton win, but he can see a draw. So, Danny, get off the fence. Pick a score. Come on.
Talk about picking 2 out of 3, Danny, son. Talk about picking 2 out of 3. Listen, right? Yeah. Please get your predictions in the comments. I love to see them going through. It does make conversation a bit easier for Ferg and myself when we run out of things to talk about. But yeah, so it looks like the general consensus there between Ferg and myself is a draw. Couple have gone for Brighton. Yeah, so
You keep talking. I'm trying to update these graphics at the bottom. So
you're
you keep
updating the
talking.
graphics at the bottom, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on then, right? I'm going to move on to Palace Sunderland right now, mate. I can't see anything other than a home win here. I'm so impressed with Palace. I think they're doing really well. They've lost their talisman in Eze to our mighty Arsenal, but that seems to have sort of gelled them all together in a way at Palace. They're playing really well. Sunderland haven't been disgraced, but I can't see Sunderland getting anything at Palace. Can you, Ferg?
No, I can't. I think Sunderland, as you said, haven't disgraced themselves at all. But Palace, as you said, they've lost Eze, but they kept Mark Gahey, which is, I think, a huge step for them in the right direction. They didn't have a replacement to come in to step up for him, and he's been an utter professional. I know he's gonna probably walk at the end of the season for free. I think it's still going to be a tight affair because I do see Sunderland as a decent team. They spent well in the window. They brought the likes of Xhaka in and some other players. They sold was it Joel Bellingham? Jude's you're on mute, mate. Jude's younger brother. They sold him and cashed in on him and spent the money well. I've gone for Palace 2, Sunderland 1.
Well, I've gone for Palace 2, Sunderland 0, and it looks like everyone in the chat fancies Palace to win this one, Ferg. So that's me banker. I'm going to put that in my acca. Palace to win at home against Sunderland. It was Job Bellingham, and they sold him to a German side, didn't they, Ferg? Did they?
They sold him to Dortmund, the same as Jude. Yeah. So went the same one. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe he's following the same path. Who knows? Yeah. So
well, it was his dad. His dad is the agent, isn't it? There's a big talk about does he overstep the mark or whatever.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
But good luck to the boys anyway. Everton v Villa, Ferg. Right, Everton v Villa. When we played Liverpool away a couple of weeks ago, we'll briefly touch on that later. Obviously, Dan and myself, we had a walk up to Everton's new ground, had a wander around it. I thought it looked really impressive. I'm looking forward to us going to play there. You know, it's got a huge, great concourse at the front, Ferg. Not a lot around the sides. But my one worry was that people were going to fall over the side and into the river where they put really high fences up round.
Oh, they have. I was going to ask about that because I can see somebody going in the drink there.
Yeah, no, they put like 8 foot high wire fences up round the side, Ferg. So you can see the river, you can see everything, but you're going to have to be pretty good to climb up it and get over the top of it. So I felt pretty safe with that. Yeah, but I was impressed with it, the Everton ground. And, you know, I have got a soft spot for Everton. They have played well in their new ground. A couple of games they've played there. Villa, up and down for me this season, Ferg. And then I'm just hearing that Grealish has got player of the month in his first month at Everton. The boy's flying. I'm leaning towards Everton, me, Ferg.
Yeah, to be honest, I tend to agree with you. The Grealish factor has made a big difference to Everton, where I thought Everton would probably just about do that, what they've done for the last 4 or 5 seasons, just about survive. I would also have thought that Villa, who have been a great team all last season, done well getting into Europe, doing the Champions League and everything else last year. I would have thought they've done better. So it's almost like this. So for me, so that Everton have come up a bit and Villa have gone down a bit. So I think they're about level. And I've gone for a Desmond on this one. I've gone Everton 2, Villa 2.
Have you really? You've gone for a draw, Ferg?
Yeah, I have, mate.
Now, Demsek, mate Kev's just mentioned it about Martinez, right? Emery was was interviewed and tried to be interviewed about Martinez a couple of weeks ago, and he was having none of it. Emery was having none of it. He was not going to talk about Martinez.
Marco
So,
Malrosh.
do you think that's caused some unrest at Villa, maybe, and upsetting their form a bit, Ferg?
Do you think that Martinez could be a disruptive character in the dressing room?
Oh no, he's a little diamond, isn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a little diamond. Wouldn't say a word out of place. Of course, I think he can be a bit disruptive. And of course, I think it might have upset Villa's form and their shape and the way they're playing. It has to. So I'm not going for a draw. I'm going for Everton to win this game by 2 goals, 2-0 to Everton. And I can't see Villa in it. As for it's not Martinez, by the way, it's Martinez. Does Martinez start for Villa? After the way Emery spoke last week or the week before, I'll be very surprised if we ever seen Martinez in a Villa shirt again. But who knows? Who knows?
Has the Turkish transfer window shut yet? Because that's the opportunity for him to go somewhere. Because, as you say, I can't see the way he conducted himself. I cannot see him playing for Villa again unless he grovels, and he doesn't look like the sort of guy that does a lot of groveling.
That's right. And to be honest, Ferg, that comment from Demsek there, truth is Martinez is a very good goalkeeper. Absolutely he is. Yes. Couldn't agree more. He's an he's a World Cup winning goalkeeper. You know, he's a goalkeeper of the highest quality, but he's easy to dislike, and you can imagine him causing some unrest without even bothering, you know. So, yeah, what way do you look at it? I don't know, but I'll be surprised if he plays for Villa. Ferg, moving on, right? Fulham at home to dirty Leeds, right? This is the 3rd game in London on Saturday, right? Leeds fans pouring into King's Cross. We'll have Sunderland fans pouring into King's Cross. Thankfully, the days of mass hooliganism is gone. But talk about trying to light a blue touch paper with all these games in London this weekend, Ferg. Hey?
Yeah, I think this is the 9 teams. You got Charlton, you got Millwall, you got West Ham, Tottenham, you got Arsenal, you got, as you said, Fulham. It's just Brentford, Chelsea. Saturday is mad, and then you've got some other marches and stuff going on as well. The police are going to be really stretched.
Don't forget Tottenham and Chelsea are in London as well. They're both away to London teams.
Yeah,
you know, and I've got a funny feeling Orient are at home as well. So blimey, yeah. Anyway, on to the game. Fulham v Leeds. Go on, you go first, son.
Well, Fulham with that game, the early kickoff a couple of Saturdays ago against Chelsea, and it was that ridiculous VAR decision that was disallowed the goal for Fulham that would have given them a 1-0 lead against Chelsea, and I think that game would have stayed probably in Fulham's favour because they looked the better side at the time. Chelsea looked very, very poor, but that was it. The Leeds, on the other hand, they I think they won against Everton at Ellen Road.
Lucky penalty, though.
Yeah, it was a lucky penalty, mate. But I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be difficult. I think Leeds are just that bit too good for Fulham are that much too good for Leeds. Leeds have got lucky against Everton, and they got lucky against a couple of other teams as well. They lost 5-0 to us. I don't see them. I don't see them even scoring at Fulham. I've gone 2-0 to Fulham.
Yeah, I've gone for a Fulham win as well, but I've gone 1-0 to Fulham. I think Fulham have shown enough form this season to beat Leeds, who, when they came to Arsenal, looked very ordinary. Very ordinary. It started off all right first 10 minutes, but as soon as the Arsenal started taking over, they were never in the game. So I don't think Leeds are going to get anything at Fulham. I've gone Fulham to win 1-0. And hey, we're doing all right, Ferg. We're only quarter of an hour in, right? And we've done 4 games. This is looking really good. Really good, right? Now then, Newcastle v Wolves. Newcastle v Wolves. Yeah, Newcastle have lost Isaac. To be honest, I reckon they're probably happy to see the back of him after all that was going on. I bet they thought, at least he's gone now. Let's get our heads together and let's play some football. And Wolves, I can't remember what Wolves have done this season. This shows how much homework I do for this show. But in my defence, I've been up to my neck in it this afternoon. So I'm going to give my score straight away, folks. I think Newcastle will beat Wolves 2-0. It'll be a comfortable win for Newcastle at home.
I agree. I think Newcastle, they've bought well, they've sold well. Isaac, if he doesn't want to be at the club, like any player at our club, if they don't want to be there, move him on. He didn't train throughout much throughout the summer, so even Liverpool, which we'll go on to that game in a little while, Liverpool manager has said that Isaac won't play a full 90 minutes, probably this weekend, and he'll be in and out of the team for a few weeks until he gets up to full fitness. But they got Wissa, and they've got the big tall German guy, I can't remember his name, who's good from set pieces and everything else. Anthony Gordon is a decent player. Wolves, for me, I think they've sold all their gems. They sold Kuna, they sold what's his name, at Nori.
You mean Wolves have sold their gems? Yeah.
That's what I said. Yeah, is that what I said?
Yeah. I thought you said Newcastle. Never mind, might be me.
Okay, yeah, I might have. Never know with me. But Wolves have sold all their gems, and I don't think I can see them scoring. I've gone Newcastle 3, and I've gone Wolves 0.
Yeah, I've gone 2-0. I'm not sure if Anthony Gordon is still suspended, Ferg. I know he got that red. Did he get 3 games or 1 game? I don't know.
I think early on it's probably 2 games, and hence going back to the Villa game, I think Konsa might be available for that game, the Villa game, which will help them as well.
Yeah, fair enough. So we've both gone for a Newcastle win.
Demsek like Gordon is still suspended.
Gordon is still suspended. Thank you, mate. So we've got Trev's going for a draw. Everyone else seems to be going for a home win for Newcastle. Now then, Ferg, I love this next game. Absolutely love it. Haven't West Ham hit form at exactly the right time, eh? Thank you, West Ham, for going up to Forest and absolutely obliterating them, right? Absolutely obliterated Forest. West Ham was superb on the day. I'm over the moon because tomorrow West Ham play Tottenham, right? West Ham play Tottenham. West Ham are on top form. Tottenham, yeah, they've had their 1 win in August. That's probably the end of them now, isn't it, Ferg?
I don't know. The West Ham, the Forest West Ham game was a very poor game, a bit like the Old Firm derby, which I watched. Very, very dull game. But then once Bowen got his goal, Forest, their head went down when there was the impending departure of their manager or whatever. But they got absolutely battered 3-0. This game, it's a huge game for West Ham. It's probably a bigger game for West Ham than it is for Spurs. They really rise up to the occasion generally on this. But the games do, I think more often than not, end up in a draw, 1-1. I don't think Spurs have beaten West Ham at the London Stadium for a long, long time. I know they're in the stadium now 9 years. Can you believe the West Ham are there 9 years?
Oh, no, 9 years of suffering for them West Ham fans.
Yeah, I know. Mind you, you know what? They talk about the atmosphere in the stadium. It's down to the fans. We had this atmosphere problem at the Emirates, and it was down to the Ashburton Army and the work that Dan and some of the others in Block 5 do to build the atmosphere in the stadium. And, I whilst the stadium's not ideal, you build your atmosphere.
Yeah, but Ferg, we don't need binoculars to see the pitch at the Emirates.
No, we don't.
I do feel. I mean, them seats right at the back. To say they're absolutely stupid and a rip-off for the money they charge isn't an overstatement at West Ham. I do feel for them. I do feel for them West Ham fans.
I do agree. Mind you, do you know Fulham are charging £160 in their new stand for Fulham fans to come see Fulham Arsenal? £160.
That's why it was half empty last season when we played there, because people won't pay the money, and I don't blame them. There's got to be a limit. It's got to be, it's got to be a limit to it, and it's got to all go bang soon, and something's got to happen in football about this money situation. And I'm not just talking about the money they charge fans. I'm talking about the money they charge fans, the transfer fees, the sponsorship fees, rich owners buying trophies. It's just every point you think about in football right now in the Premier League is controlled by money. Everything is money, money, money. And to be honest, Ferg, I know I'm an old codger, right? But it sickens me. It sickens me. It really does. It's just a world of football that says, "Come on, how much more can we rip these fans off for?" You know, I'm speechless, really. I'm not speechless because I've just waffled about the bloody stuff. But yeah,
You're never speechless.
money, money, money. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. But yeah,
Sorry,
I've gone for West Ham to beat.
Ronnie's taking the mick out of me, still having Aaron behind us. I got it from the stadium, so I don't want to get rid of it. I think it looks great on the door. I know he's not there anymore, but hey, I might take it down when we play Newcastle. What have you gone for? Sorry, Trev?
I've gone for West Ham to beat Tottenham 1-0, and I think it could be more. I think it could be more.
I've gone West Ham to beat Tottenham also, but I've taken my mate. Funnily enough, he's also called Ronnie. He always puts a bet on West Ham to win 3-1, so I've gone West Ham to win 3-1 against the Scum.
Yeah.
Before we carry on, mate, I know we do it every week throughout the show. If people didn't see on Wednesday, which was World Suicide Prevention Day, we had Alex from Andy's Man Club on with us. It was a really, really good show. I really enjoyed it. And he was quite touching at times, quite emotional at times, but also we had a bit of a laugh as well, generally at my expense. But hey, that's the way it goes. But what it did highlight was, it is good to talk, that people should talk. And if anybody is struggling out there, go to Andy's Man Club, or email info@andysmanclub.co.uk. They're out there to help anybody through anything from the ultimate despair of suicide and so on, but down to I just need to talk. I need to go out and have a chat with some mates.
Is it also right for? Yeah, I'm sure I've got this right for that. You can just Google Andy's Man Club, and within their website is a tool that shows you where your nearest group is, and just turn up. You don't have to make an appointment. You just turn up, and if you pull up in the car park, and if that last little step about going into the building, it worries you, which is understandable. There's always someone stood outside with an Andy's Man Club shirt on or jumper on, and they'll just come and talk to you, or just give them a wave.
Bring you in for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and a biscuit. So, yeah. Before we finish on the West Ham game, I think this is a really good thing as well. The West Ham have banned any sort of half and half scarves. Anybody, like if somebody was wearing this and it could be deemed as, even without color, like a badge on it, it could be deemed as probably Tottenham colors in the home end. They're saying no half and half scarves. I think there should be more and more of that, Trev, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, I do indeed. But as Demsex just put here, I think Trev has half and half scarf. I do. I've a few, but only when we've travelled a long way. Like I got one when we were up in Bate Borisov as a memento that we'd been up there, and Bodo, I got one from there. But in the Premier League, no, you don't. They're not needed, are they? They're really, really not needed. And just they're not official merchandise, I've been told. So yeah, West Ham were totally within their rights to ban them. And Ferg, West Ham have had a lot of trouble with away fans getting in the home ends, haven't they, this season?
Yeah, they have. As you know, local to me is quite a West Ham stronghold, and a lot of people I know. To be honest, one of my friends, West Ham season ticket holder, he's not got to go tomorrow. He's disgruntled with the setup at West Ham. He also feels that they might lose against Spurs, and he doesn't want to see that. But there's an awful lot of them who are just not happy with the whole thing at West Ham, and then they're selling the tickets on to wherever. They're getting picked up by reselling agents, and they're getting sold to other football tourists or fans from the opposition side. And like, even when we played them, do you remember, Trev, when we were down towards the front, there was a few Arsenal fans in the West Ham end, and some of them did come unstuck because they were idiots and got up and cheered.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a West Ham fan, I'd have trouble dragging me backside to that stadium. I would seriously would, but not so much for the football. I mean, I'd watch football if we ended up in, in the Scottish second division. I'd still go and watch us, but that stadium would make it hard for me to attend. It really would. It really would. But that's it now. That it's their ground, as you said earlier, Ferg. There must be things they can do to try and improve the atmosphere. They need to get their heads together and get onto it.
Yeah.
So, Ferg, we've both gone for a West Ham win. I'm sure we're both correct there. Yeah. So, Brentford v Chelsea, another game in London. Right? Brentford at home. Chelsea. Are Chelsea that good, Ferg, or are they flattering to deceive this season? They've had some good results.
I think they're probably the dark horses of that top league, and I think people assume that Arsenal win the league, of course. Liverpool comes second, and then probably Man City. But I don't think Man City are that good. And we'll have a look at the table at the end. But I think Pep might have been found out a little, but he might prove us wrong yet on Sunday. But I think Chelsea are doing okay. Delap is out now till December, which I think is disappointing for them. But I like Palmer. The keeper was always a worry for me, but in that final in the fake world thingy, he was outstanding. I still think they're better than Brentford. I think Brentford, again, a team that sold their jewels in Wissa and the like. So I can't see anything but a Chelsea win, and I've gone actually 2-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm much like everybody in the comments, Ferg. I've gone for Chelsea as well, but I've gone for it to be a bit closer. I've gone for Chelsea to nick a 2-1 win at Brentford, and it seems that everybody agrees that Chelsea are going to get the win there.
Palmer's still injured, apparently.
Who?
Palmer's still injured.
Yeah, he's a miss.
Yeah.
Burnley at home to Liverpool. I've never wanted anyone to win a game more than I want Burnley to beat Liverpool this weekend, right? We're going to talk about Liverpool when we come on to our game. We've got to, because that was our last game. But I so want Burnley to get something out of this game at home to Liverpool. But I can't for the life of me make a case for it, Ferg. Can you?
The only case I can say is Burnley's defensive record is really, really good. And I think they broke a load of records in the Championship to get promoted into the Premier League with conceding the least goals, etc. I think Scott Parker is doing a really good job. He solidified a team that was probably partially built by Vincent Kompany, who I actually rate as a manager. But I think when Vincent Kompany took them up into the Premier League, he tried to play a bit like Ange does, and it was all like, pressing football and we'll play press. And I'm sorry, when you're coming up from the Championship, you need to defend, and maybe get them on the counter. I think they'll do a bit more of that, but I don't think they're going to be good enough for Liverpool. And Liverpool, Isak will probably appear for 10 or 15 minutes towards the end. They've got Mo Salah. He's never scored apparently at Turf Moor, which I didn't know. Hopefully that record continues, but they have got decent players. They're not firing on all cylinders yet, Liverpool. We saw that when we played them last week. I thought we were by far as equal to them and could easily have...
by far as equal? What language is that?
You'll take the piss out of me again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we were equal to them easily, and it was going to take a mistake or a wonder goal is what I was going to get to, and their free kick was a wonder goal. But there was nothing to separate the teams. Substitutions, we talked about it last week and everything else, and when and they should have been done and so on. But I still think that Liverpool are going to absolutely smash Burnley on Sunday lunchtime, and I've gone 4-0 to Liverpool.
4-0. Wow. See, I've gone right. Firstly, you mentioned Salah, Ferg. And whenever we've played Liverpool in the last few years, Salah has always been the thorn in our side, right? He's capable of scoring a very good goal, as we all know. But honestly, mate, when we played at Liverpool a couple of weeks ago, I forgot Salah was playing. He was bang average, absolutely bang average. And yeah, anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. I've gone Liverpool 3-0, Ferg. But if Liverpool are going to win, I wouldn't mind if Burnley just, I shouldn't really say this, but I wouldn't mind if the Burnley players just kick the Liverpool players all over the park, to be honest.
Arnie thinks that Liverpool will nick a win on the 80th minute.
Yeah.
With me with 4-0.
Yeah.
Dem6 with you with 3-0.
Yeah.
And Ronnie says he can't see past Liverpool. And Danny says Liverpool will just 1-0.
Yeah. Well, everyone's thinking Liverpool win, so maybe we'll get a shock, but I can't see it. So we'll go to the last one before we cover the Arsenal game, right? Man City v Man United, right? Two teams that aren't very good at the moment. One, surprisingly, City. I thought they'd be better. One, unsurprisingly, United. And United must be very worried because they're still they've changed the goalkeeper this week. They've not got it done before the season started, and they're changing players left, right, and centre. So they're looking a right turmoil. Wouldn't be too big a word to call United's situation at the moment. But in my experience, Man United always do well at Man City, right? From what I can recall. And I'm going to put my head on the line here and I'm going to say I think United will win 2-1 at Man City.
Okay. Ronnie agrees with you. Demsek fancies United. Danny, I think you probably quoted him. United always do well against City.
I did not. How dare you? How very dare you?
And Arnie's gone 2-1 to United. It's 9th versus 13th. There's my Irish accent coming out. You can tell it's Friday and I'm tired. 9th versus 13th. And 13th is Pep's team. Who would have thought Pep would be 13th in the league already after 3 games? They lost back-to-back against, was it Tottenham and Brighton?
Brighton, yeah.
Yeah. United have won a game this season. United have 4 points, so 1-1, drawn 1 and lost 1 to us. I can't split them. I've gone for Desmond again on this one. I've gone for 2-2 to either side. I do think that, as you say, United do well at the City at the Etihad Stadium, but I think City might just go back to form. Haaland scored a few goals in the international break. Didn't he get a hat trick? I don't know, against 2.
Got 4, I think. Got 4 against Turkey.
Yeah. I think that'll be good for his confidence because he hasn't been great, has he, off recent?
No, well, obviously it was different in international football because I honestly think that although Haaland's obviously still a quality player and he's going to score plenty of goals, teams have worked out how to defend against him. Right, I don't want to tempt fate because we play him in a little while, but
next weekend
he doesn't get a look in against us in the last 2 or 3 games we've played. He scored a goal, one lucky goal he scored in the 2-2 draw, I think, but teams are starting to work Haaland out a little bit. He's got a bit of he can throw a tantrum easy, and I reckon that puts him off his game a bit. And hopefully we've seen the best of Haaland and he's on a downward slope now. I really do. But yeah, so I've gone for a Man United to nick a win. You've gone for a draw, Ferg. Most people have gone for United to win. Trev's gone 2-1 City. So it could go either way, but I'm going to stick with United to nick a win there, mainly because it keeps me in the family's good books. All the in-laws will be saying, oh, yeah, he's in the good books tonight. Yeah, excellent. So, Ferg, my mate, it brings us on to the main event of the weekend. Early kickoff tomorrow.
Does?
It means a very early start for me. I shall be on the 7:20 train from my local station, getting to London about 10:30. Then I might even have a walk up to the ground. We'll see. We'll see. At home to Forest.
What time are you getting down to Blackstock Roadish area?
I'm not going to Blackstock Road. I'm going straight to the ground.
No, I know. But what time are you planning to arrive at the stadium?
I don't know, 11, just after.
Okay, I was going to try and get in there just about that sort of time as well.
Yeah.
So we'll chat tomorrow.
Yeah, all right then, mate. So listen, Arsenal v Forest, right? Forest have got blitzed at home.
Cheer up, Postecoglou.
Yeah.
Oh, what can it be?
You know what, Ferg? I wonder if that's why Forest played so badly against West Ham, because Nuno was playing up and the big Greek owner was obviously having words. And I wonder if they were just on a downer and they weren't going to play for Nuno anymore. And that's why he went so quickly. Postecoglou's in there. I've always not mind. Well, I didn't like Postecoglou when he was at Tottenham. I cast aspersions on his mother, on his parentage. But now he's not at Tottenham anymore. He's gone up a little bit, and I can talk about him without being horrible now. So Postecoglou, yeah. I don't think he'll do too badly at all at Forest, but I think they're going to be nowhere near the Arsenal this weekend. Thank you, Gary. They're going to be nowhere near the Arsenal this weekend, right? In a minute, I'm going to let you have a chat about what you think about the fixture, but then I don't talk about the team selection first, because we'll talk about that after, mate. But I think Arsenal are going to beat Forest comfortably.
I agree. I'll give my score prediction straight away. I think it's going to be 4-0 Arsenal. I think the reason behind that is if we look at Ange and his style of play. I was listening to Hudson-Odoi on TalkSport. He done an interview with Troy Deeney, actually, who I rate as a half-decent pundit on our commentator on the radio sort of thing. He's half decent, but he had an interview with him, and Hudson-Odoi said they had the training session on Wednesday, and wow, what a training session! They were into the same mega fitness and the pressing and everything else. And if they do that and they push those two centre defenders of Forest, who are really good, Milosevic, I think is, and a Brazilian guy. I probably got the names wrong and nationality wrong, but hey ho. Yeah. But if they push those two up to the halfway line like they used to do for Spurs, Victor Gyökeres he's going to get, as Demsek says, he's hoping for a brace. I'm hoping for a hat trick from him, and give him a bit of confidence. I'm trying not to get too cocky, but I just think if Ange plays Ange ball, he will come unstuck again.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I can see Gyökeres making runs in behind, like you said. Will we find him? Will we have been in training this week playing that ball in behind? I don't know. Let's hope we have. But going on to the selection, Ferg, I was absolutely flabbergasted when they mentioned that Saliba was likely to be available for this game. But I can't see him being any more than on the bench. Can you, Ferg?
No, I don't think he'll do any more than being on the bench. He might get 10 minutes at the end if we're 2 or 3-0 up, just to give him a little bit of a run out. I have got no issue with Mascara playing. I thought he was outstanding against Liverpool. We didn't even... Listen, you'll always miss a player like Saliba in any game, but the step down from what we had previously to the step down, or it wasn't even a step down, was it, Trevor? To what we had from Saliba going and Mascara coming back in again. I think Gabriel covered a little bit of his youth, maybe, but he was far more comfortable with having Mascara alongside him rather than, say, the likes of Kivior or, somebody like that. Not taking anything away from Kivior, because I thought he had a great end to last season. Yeah. Saliba for me, on the bench. But who do you do, left back, right back? Because
wait a minute, I'm coming to that. What did I just tell you, Ferg? You don't listen to me, do you? I try and try, but you don't listen.
You are very trying.
Listen, right. We have to mention Mascara, right? Because we have got, I'm sure, a very, very able player when it comes to covering centre half. You're right about Liverpool. When Mascara came on, and I think with one of his first touches against Liverpool, he just pushed the ball a little bit too far, and he had to panic and just keep hold of it before a Liverpool player nicked it off his toe. And I was thinking, oh, here we go. But after that, for the rest of the game, for the other 85 minutes, he was absolutely on the ball, Mosquera. And I'm sure I've no hesitation about wanting him to play. I'll be happy to see him play alongside Gabriel. So that's Gabriel and Mosquera, right? For me, I think we're going to get tomorrow, Ferg. We're going to get one of them Arteta surprise selections in a position, right? And this is why I stopped you just now, mate, because I think Timber's the right back, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't play someone else at left back tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't put Lewis Skelly in for his first start tomorrow. It really wouldn't, mate.
Lewis Skelly was dropped for the second game, or sent home from the second game for England. I didn't, because of the international break, I'm not very interested. Was that just because they didn't need him, or did he have an injury? Do you know?
I don't know. They've not said I've read Arteta's injury interview today, and he never mentioned him, did he? So
Okay.
Who knows? But for me,
I think Lewis Skelly would be a good idea in the sense that he can play that inverted role. But it depends on what you want to do, who you've got further up on the left side, whether it's Martinelli or whether it's Eze. I'm trying not to jump ahead, but
this is good. You're reading. Have you got a copy of my notes there, or what have you?
What, you made notes? Christ, that'll be a first.
Because you're reading ahead of me there, Fergie, in that I would be excited. I think Eze will play on the left instead of Martinelli. Me, in my head. And I'm really excited to see Lewis Skelly and Eze on the same side of the pitch, because they've both got amazing close ball control, can both pick a pass, and can both cover wide. So I would
They can, but they both have a tendency to drift in. And I don't know if that could leave us overexposed, that the Lewis Skelly would come in, Eze comes in, and then does it all get very pushed into the middle of the pitch?
Lewis Skelly only drifts in because that's the way he's told to play. That's the way he's told to play. And Damsek's right. It wouldn't surprise me to see White come in. We've not heard a lot about White, but I think he'll only change. For me, this is my opinion. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't stick Lewis Skelly in. In the middle of the park, Ferg.
Ronnie disagrees. He thinks Skelly will play probably midweek in the Champions League fixture.
Yeah, fair enough. Ronnie could be right. I'm always wrong, so Ronnie's probably right. Yeah. But I just want to move on because I'm conscious I want to get this done within the hour, and I've got a few points I want to raise with you, Ferg.
Yeah.
In the middle of the park, I can't see anyone other than Rice and Zubimendi, Ferg. I can't see any other, unless he's thinking Forest are a bit weaker and he wants to rest one of them, Ferg. What do you think?
I think I didn't see if Zubimendi played for Spain, again, international, so I'm not really interested in it. But from what I've read and heard on Rice's performance for England was outstanding, same as Madueke, which I'm sure we'll touch on. But you've got to start Rice, but you start Rice in that 8 position, and then you do Zubimendi in that 6.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. But if we are going to play Merino, he should play. Although Merino, I know he's a forward playing midfielder. He's proving that, scoring goals left, right, and centre. But when Merino went off at Liverpool and Odegaard came on, I just thought we looked a lot brighter, a lot quicker to the press. And
I think to put Merino on for me would be a more pragmatic approach, and I don't think many fans, including myself, would be happy. I've got nothing against Merino. I think he's been great. He's a good servant in the short period of time he's been with us, and he played well and did what he needed to do against Liverpool. But I think we need to go to Forest and we need to make an impression, and we need to get those 4 goals that I said we're going to get, or more, or 3, or whatever. And I don't think Merino is the answer to that. I think we need Rice on the pitch.
Yeah, I think, I agree. But if Merino was to come in, it should be for Zubimendi or Rice. Or don't forget, as Demsek said there, Zubimendi and Merino played in midfield for Spain, and they're playing very well at the moment. But yeah, for me, Zubimendi and Rice, and if we had to change one of them, Merino. Odegaard's a shoe-in for me. After the way he played came on at Liverpool, showed how we missed him. As long as he's fully fit, Odegaard plays in that number 10.
I think he got a 9.3 for Norway in his last game as well. He was outstanding, providing a couple of assists as well. You know, so I want that Odegaard back of 2 years ago playing for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any more of the Odegaard that we saw last season. We know he was injured. We know there was other stuff going on. There was injuries within the squad that couldn't. He was trying to cover areas, and people were trying to makeshift. But we've got a good enough squad now that he has got all the talent around him he needs. They just need to click and go.
Yeah, I think that you're right, and I think he will. I think Odegaard is going to shine again this year. I really do. I really do. And then we come to the front three, Ferg, right? And then we come to the front three. And for me, you've got to play Victor in the middle, right?
Yes.
And I can't see, especially with Saka being injured, Madueke's been off the scale. He's been playing really well. The only way I could see Madueke not starting is if he's come back from England duty with a knock or really tired, and then he'll be on the bench. But I want to see Madueke on the right, and I want to see Eze on the left. And as much as I'm excited at the thought of Lewis Skelly and Eze on the left, remember that's my opinion. I know you don't necessarily agree, Ferg. I think Eze might be the man that fires Victor into life, mate. I really do, because we've got to. We've got to get the ball to Victor, and this is the ideal time to go back to the Liverpool game, Ferg. Right, with last week off, and with it being internationals, I'm not really bothered with. I've watched the Liverpool game back, and I've thought about it lots, because part of me was saying we played really well, which we did. Part of me was saying we could have done better in the final third, right? And I think they've both got their value, those two statements, right? But I honestly think that game was that close, an away game at the Champions, and it could, as Slot said, as Arnie Slot said, it could have easily have gone the other way. And if it had gone the other way, we would have all been celebrating an absolute masterclass, Ferg. I don't know how you see it, mate, but that's how I see it.
Yeah, if you look at the Liverpool game, I think we played well. I just think the manager made some errors of judgment, in the sense of when, not necessarily the starting lineup, I thought it was a little bit pragmatic. But if he was going to have a pragmatic lineup, that he should have changed it like Slot did at 60-odd minutes rather than waiting to 70-odd minutes. But yeah, no, for me, the front line, like you said, should be Madueke in place of Saka, because watching the few clips I did of the England game, he looks like Saka. You know what? I think he's actually that little bit more attacking, and he does, as he runs up along the wing, he cuts into the box that little bit earlier, and he seems to give the ball to the forward. He was teaming up in the first game with Eze, and a couple of them didn't come off, but they look like really, really good. I'd like to see Gyökeres up top and being fed by Eze on the other side. And I think if, as I said early on in the podcast, if Ange plays Ange ball and they'll play that really high line, they'll rip them apart.
Yeah, hope so. Ferg, can you put that last comment from Ronnie Lamb up there, please? Because that's really interesting, because
Trevor said Liverpool game that Eze's cameo wasn't great.
I thought that Eze looked really nervous making his debut for the Arsenal. Don't forget, he's coming on to play for his boyhood club. His dreams come true. All of Eze's living my dream, and I dare say most of everyone else's dream. He's gone to his club, and he's taken a long route to get there. And when I watched him standing on the line, and when he came on, I honestly thought that he was nervous, right? And I'm thinking that home debut at home tomorrow to Forest, his home debut, that crowd are gonna be so loud for him. He's good. I think he'll fly. I think
I think you'll hear him crying down the lane.
Yeah. But he didn't do a lot at Liverpool, but I honestly think he was nervous.
You know what? At Liverpool, he had signed the week before. He's probably had 1 or 2 training sessions and then gone to Liverpool, a huge game, one of the biggest games that early in the season. He probably wouldn't have known all our set pieces properly. You know, he probably just gone out and playing just like by ear, like, you know, like somebody can play a piano or a guitar just without reading the music. That's how he was just playing music like that and playing his football like that. And I think now he's had time with Arteta. I know they've been away on international duty as well, but I think he'll get into his groove. I do think he has to start to get that crowd that you're talking about behind him. Yeah. And so he's not coming on. He comes on from the start and he gets the rhythm of the game and so on. And if you need to take him off because he's been tired after playing 2 international games or an international game, take him off at 60, 70 minutes when we're 4-0 up.
Yeah, and also, I'll put this, sorry, Ferg, I'll put this up.
Yeah.
Demsek, have you looking at my notes as well, right? I'm sure you, has my note's been posted on social media on something, because I've got written down here, what a great position we're in. We've got players out injured, right? We've got players out left, right and centre injured, and we're still talking about all these options. It's great. It's fantastic. 2 things I've got left here, Ferg, on my notes, right? I know he's been injured, but nothing's been said about Norgard. There was no update on him today that I know of. It's weird.
You're in love with the man.
Fergie's an Arsenal player, and he gets my support.
No, I get that. And I'm with you on that. But Norgard is going to probably be a bit like Jorginho was. He's going to be a bit player. He's going to play his part in it. In fairness, I think Norgard will play against Port Vale. He could actually start in place of Zubimendi in this game. But I think if this game wasn't after the international break and after a loss to Liverpool, I think he would have definitely been in with a huge shout of getting the game. But I think it's important that we win this game tomorrow convincingly at home, and I think we need to put our strongest starting 11 out.
Yep. Okay. Sorry, I had to just mute myself then. I nearly sneezed. Fair enough. Where's Norgard going to fit in? Interesting. We'll find out. Now, we've been talking about all these players, Ferg, right? And we've not even mentioned Dowman, who came on at Liverpool before the likes of Trossard, etc., right? And I thought it was a mistake from Arteta to bring Dowman on for the last few minutes at Liverpool. Talk about, chucking him to the wolves. He didn't have a chance really. The crowd were on his back, and he was done for.
I think he's brought on too late, and the game was taking a different direction, and Liverpool were getting hold of the game a bit more. That was the whole thing about the substitutions were too late. But he came on ahead of Nwaneri.
Well, yeah.
I'd be a little bit concerned unless Arteta's really good with putting his arm around his shoulder. I'd be a little bit concerned if I was Nwaneri, thinking, well, when am I going to get game time? I've got Odegaard, which is probably going to play most games. I've got Eze, they can probably play in that 10 position. And where do I play? After Eze, before Eze in that 10? Do I play after Madueke or before Madueke if Saka's injured? I'm really concerned for the overpacking in that area.
And then we've not mentioned Hincapi. He's coming this week. You know what, Ferg? When we've got everyone fit, or even now, we are going to have some damn fine players, some world-class players that are not even going to get on the bench, mate. To
be honest, we were chatting on the WhatsApp group or something like that, and we're going, you look at the start 11, and then you look at the next 11, and there's almost another 5 or 6 there afterwards. Especially, defensively, that was on Wednesday night we were talking about it with Alex. Defensively, you put up, I think it was 6 players, and you didn't include Saliba or Gabriel as the centre halves in the defensive line. I think we got 8 players that can probably play centre back, and then you've got about 3 or 4 players that can play in that 6 role. You got 3 or 4 players 3 players that can play in the 10. You got 3 players that can play in Saka's role. You got 3 players at least that can play in Martinelli's, whoever's role. You know, the only role that we don't really have a huge amount of cover for is probably Gyökeres in that out-and-out number 9. I know Eze can do that, but I don't think we've got cover in that area.
It'll be Havertz when he's fit, won't it? But it's right.
Yes.
The boys are saying that was Dowman brought on to win a late penalty. Absolutely, he wins them. Then he wins plenty of them. He wins.
He's going to get. Is he going to get a reputation though of diving?
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on the fault of that actually, Ferg, and only because we don't want to mark Dowman down as winning dodgy or easy penalties. He has been, but then again, he's been fouled. He has been fouled. I'm thinking about it as I'm going along here. I'm doing it. When you look at the penalties he's had, it's his quick footwork that's made the players fouling. You know what I mean?
I saw the one against Leeds, and I thought, if it was done against us, yes, it's a foul, but you would have gone soft as hell. It was really, really soft. But by the letter of the law, it was a penalty. So
look, right. In going back in years, and I still hate to say his name now. I hate to say his name because I can't stand to look at him. But if Rooney diving was a penalty in 2004, right? Surely, when Mike Riley was clearly not favouring the Arsenal in the slightest, if that was a penalty that Rooney won, every time a player falls over is a penalty. I will never like Rooney, never like him. How I've gotten to him, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Ferg, and most of our defenders can play centre half. Calafiori played centre half for Italy last week and played really well. You know,
yeah. So, he plays the left-hand side of the centre backs. And David Raya is playing his 100th game, I believe. 41 clean sheets to date as well.
Quick,
so
ain't that gone quick?
Yeah.
Wow, blink and 100 games are gone.
Do you remember the debates we used to have about Aaron and Ray and who was the better and everything else? So, wow. Yeah. And you know what? Arteta was right. He is the better keeper.
The jury's out. You can look at them both in different ways, right? You can look at them both in different ways. I think when we're playing passes across the back four like we did at Liverpool, when we can't seem to play them passes further up the field, to be honest, then you need Raya's feet. I noticed today, Ferg, as well. Just the last thing I noticed today, that Jesus has been named in our Premier League squad, so he's got to be near. He's got to be there or thereabouts. But anyway, listen, Ferg, we're coming up to an hour, right? We promised ourselves we wouldn't be longer than an hour. We've got 250 odd people watching us on here live at the moment. Thank you very, very much for listening to Slim, me and Tubby Ferg talking tonight. You know, we do appreciate you joining us. We do appreciate your feedback. If you can go across to YouTube, a lot of you are watching on YouTube now, but if you can go across to YouTube and press the like or subscribe button, be much appreciated. Don't make any money, but it does help us do other things. I'm so excited for the game tomorrow. I honestly think, Ferg, that we're going to absolutely batter Forest tomorrow. I'm looking forward to a scoring out full of goals. I'm looking forward to Victor coming good. I'm looking forward to Eze losing his nerves, coming on at the Emirates and absolutely dazzling us with his skills. Ferg, I'll leave it to you to sum it up quickly and then press the button, my son. I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to press this button first. thank you everybody for watching Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is the preview show, game week 4. We will be back. We will be back Monday night. And
how could I forget? How could I forget, Ferg?
You always forget something.
We're off to Bilbao on Monday.
I know. That's what I was just about to say. We're doing Monday night. Well, what time are you arriving in Bilbao?
I don't get to Bilbao till about 5 to 7 their time, I think. So that'll be 5 to 6 here. I'll find somewhere. I'll be on. I won't be drinking much, so I won't be slurring.
We're not going to have our usual drunken Trev in Europe.
No, strictly a couple of red wines or maybe a vodka and Diet Coke, but that'll do me.
Okay. We will be back Monday, 7 o'clock. I don't know what the lineup's going to be, but we will get an appearance from Hilsey and probably Dave and Dan and everybody else in the background as well. Thank you again for watching the show. As Trevor said, if you do get a chance, go across to YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. I think we're up to about, I don't think we've hit 20 quid yet. You know, maybe this season, or it might be next season when YouTube finally pay us out some money. At 60 quid is when it does. And I'll buy those beers, Trev. I will.
We're on about 2 quid a year, to be honest.
Right. Let's hit this button and finish. Oh, I've lost it. 1 second.
Oh no!
I've got so many buttons here. I got so many buttons.
Again. Thank you, everybody. Up the Arsenal.
Fuck Spurs.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.